My goal today is to help you master her kit, heal more effectively, and make her a go-to in your support rotation. I've noticed a lot of players aren't fully utilizing what she can offer, so let's break everything down to maximize her potential. And hopefully for a lot of players, she's going to be more approachable. Yes, you have to aim, but it isn't as bad as you think. Luna Snow has one of the most powerful heals in the game, along with one of the most powerful ultimates. So let's make sure you're using everything to the fullest. We're going to build and build and build on things, and remember, your main job is to keep your team alive. That's what you're there for. She can do more than that, but that comes first. But before we get into it, a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Exit Lag. High ping, lag spikes, random disconnects, we've all been there. Exit Lag is built to fix that, reducing ping and latency, stabilizing connections, and even boosting FPS for a smoother gaming experience. Exit Lag uses exclusive patented technology to optimize your connection through AI route optimization, finding the fastest, most stable path in real time. That's combined with the dynamic stabilizer to help eliminate lag spikes, jitter, and packet loss. You can use their diagnostic center to show just how strong your connection truly is or isn't. With over 1,200 servers across 5 continents and the support over 2,000 games, Exit Lag ensures you get the best possible route no matter where you play. And getting started is simple. Download the latest version off the official website, create an account, install the software, select your game, apply optimized routes, and let it do its magic. Start playing with zero lag. And even with great internet, server connections can be an issue. Take Marvel Rivals. It's actually a pretty high ping game for many. Without Exit Lag, I'm hovering around 50 ping, 47, 48, 50. But with the press of a button, Exit Lag establishes routes, my ping drops to the high 30s, and even to the mid and low 30s as I keep playing, and my connection stays rock solid. They also offer an FPS boost with hardware side optimizations, help with multi-internet routing, help with traffic shaping, all in one package. Now is the best time to try Exit Lag. For their birthday, you get 12 months for the price of 6. That's a full year of lag-free gaming and optimization at half the cost. And the best part, as soon as you sign up, you get to try it for 3 days. So there's no risk to try it out for yourself. So check out the link in the description and scan the QR code at the bottom right of the screen for this great deal that they have, and up your game today with Exit Lag. Her primary attack fires ice shots that damages enemies or heals allies. It comes out in a burst, triple, back to back to back. It's hit scan, yes, but you do need to track with it, because the first 2 shots do come out back to back, but the third one has a 0.05 second delay, and that seems so small, but that one can miss. 2 out of the 3 can miss. So while they do travel instantly on where you hit, right after that, they turn into super fast projectiles pretty much. They can spread. As you see strafing on a wall, those can miss. So starting off, a couple things you can do. If you see an enemy that you want to attack that's low, or maybe it's a flyer, and they aren't focused on you, you can just stop for a second and get shots off. When you do that, that element of your spread goes away. They're going to land back to back to back. Otherwise, if you're strafing and they're strafing in the air, it's not going to be as accurate. Just stop for a second to make sure your shots land, or you can strafe stop. Strafe, stop, shoot. Strafe, stop, shoot. And again, all this is doing is making sure the burst is grouped right on top of the other. That way you land all 3 shots. And this goes for any precise damage or healing for that matter. Stop strafe or just take a beat, stop fully, do a couple shots and move. For the fall off, it deals max damage 20 meters and in, and it deals 60% damage at 40 meters. Each round deals 20 damage for a total of 60, and with the crit multiplier, a total of 120, double damage. And 120 headshot, that's great damage for a strategist. That matches Adam Warlock. That's DPS damage. It's really, really good. And healing wise, a couple things here for her healing. Luna's part of the anchor bonus, seasonal bonus. She's getting 15% more healing, and it is crazy with Luna. Anything that heals with her is doing 15% more heal. So for the ice shots and healing, it heals 20 per round, so 60 for all 3 shots, but with the bonus, it's a total of 69. Anytime you land a burst on an ally, 69 healing, and Luna can throw these shots out fast, and it gets way more interesting as we go. Also note that if you're behind your team, you're shooting heals into their back. It will heal them until they're fully healed, but once they are fully healed, the shots will go through them and start damaging enemies. You will be utilizing this. And the moment your ally in front of you takes damage, the healing takes over until they're full health, then your shots pierce and go through them. And that's not a bad way to use this primary attack. Try to keep it in a line, and that's going to be a theme throughout the video. You're kind of aiming at enemies, but through your allies. Because if they're healed up, you're getting big damage shots through your teammates. And if not, you heal them for 69 a pop. Ice Arts is by far, Luna's most important ability. This is your moneymaker right here. Fire ice shards for a short duration, damaging enemies or healing allies while restoring her own health. And as far as restoring your own health, more on that later. These can go out 40 meters, they have no fall off. It lasts for 6 seconds, she starts to clap, and in those 6 seconds, this ability has 9 shots. These shots deal 50 damage to enemies, and they heal your allies for 87 per shot. 75 at base, 87 with the anchor bonus. When it comes to damage, it has an extremely generous detection window. You could be aiming well away from them. It's like you're shooting cinder blocks. Just cannon shots. So whatever you're aiming at, you will be hitting, like especially flyers. Luna's best answer for a flyer is this. It's a lot of pressure to them. It's very consistent. But the best thing about this attack, when it comes to heroes, it infinitely pierces. Remember that and utilize that. It goes from one hero to the other. Doesn't matter if they're enemy or ally. So in team fights, when your team is pushing up to a choke point, or their team is, or there's an angle to it, you're going to position yourself to grab as many people as you can. You start shooting your shots into the back of your teammates. They're getting 87 healing. It goes through them, hitting whatever's in front of them for 50 damage. This is guaranteed piercing. They don't need to be full health for you to pierce. And if multiple heroes are lined up, you're going to hit them all. With one shot, you can go through 2 allies and 3 enemies. If they're lined up, you will hit them. And remember, that generous hitbox, it hits a lot of enemies. So anytime you need someone to stay up, a tank, a magic's getting low while in their ultimate, you're going to use this, and there's still more to add. But not only are you getting them healthy, you're also damaging whatever's in front of them. And in-game, it happens a lot. Think about this. One of these shots, if you hit an ally, it goes through them and hits the enemy in front of them. It's a 137 health point swing, plus 87 for your team, negative 50 for them. And you're doing it back to back to back. This is the best part of her kit. Tons of heals, tons of damage. And another thing to note, after using this ability, it fully reloads her primary shots. Her primary has 30 ammo, shoots in threes, so you can use all 30 ammo or 27, go into this ability, clap out the 9 shots. When you come back to your primary, it's going to be fully loaded. That's a constant steady stream if you can time it right. Very strong ability. Use it early and use it often. Beginning, middle, or end of team fights. If your team's losing a team fight, bring this out and heal as much as you can. Share the stage is also very important, and to me where it gets more interesting. It amplifies what you can do. Attach Idle Aura to an ally. Allies with Idle Aura also restore health when Luna Snow is healing others. I tested it, and it must have to do with the anchor bonus, but whatever this is attached to, it's getting 40% more healing. The base is 35. And this is where I might differ from other people of what I like to do. What a lot of people like to do, and this is fine by the way, totally fine. There's a place for it. You attach it to a frontline tank. They're always in the thick of it. A Venom, Magneto, Strange, or a flanking hero like Spider-Man, Magic. Whenever you heal another ally, they get a little bit of healing too. It's a smaller chunk of healing, but it's constant as long as you're hitting allies. The regular heal, they get 28 healing. If you use the clap heal, they get 35 healing. And yeah, that does add up. And whatever you do is fine, but just make sure you always have this on somebody. If you stick it on a tank or Spider-Man, cool. If they go down, remember to move it to another person. I see a lot of Lunas that aren't keeping it on allies. They'll place it on one, set it and forget it, and literally forget it. But to bypass all that, I use it as an active target heal. I use it the same way I use Invisible Woman's shield, because whatever you're healing 40% more because they have the icicle over them. And what that translates to is your primary base healing goes from 69 to 97. I mean, pretty much 100 health here. Big difference. Back to back to back 3 shots is 291 healing. But even better is with the clap attack. That heal goes from 87 to 121. If you icicle someone and hit them with the clap heal, 121 is more healing than Loki with 3 clones healing. It's more healing than Adam Warlock's life stream. It's huge healing. So say you do icicle an ally that's in the thick of it. Strange, Venom, Magneto, whatever. You're healing them, but you see them just getting absolutely chunked down. Switch to the clap, then 121s for them over and over, and it's going through. You're also hitting 50 damage on the other side. And once he's healthy, you can switch it up. Give it to another ally, give them 121 healing. Piercing through them, hitting enemies, and that is a 171 health point swing, plus 121 for your team, negative 50 for theirs. It is wild. I think it's one of the strongest things in the game right now. Every 15 seconds, be looking to use this. Get yourself in that mid line, back line, line up your team with their team, start piercing. And if you want, throw the icicle on them as you're doing it. There's no wrong answer though. Place it and forget it, or move it ally to ally. I believe that it just heals better, heals them faster. It's totally up to you. I found the most success doing the target heals. And I'll round more of that out in the playstyle section. Absolute Zero has a couple use cases. Single cast projectile with delayed impact. It's got a 12-second cooldown. It deals 50 damage. When you hit them, you freeze them in place for 2.7 seconds. Or, if they're attacked during the last 2.2 seconds of the freeze, they're going to be thawed out, not frozen anymore. But first of all, since it has a delay, right after you fire this thing, you immediately shoot a shot. Because the projectiles fire faster than the ice clump, it's not in the final 2.2 seconds of the freeze, it will hit them. Then the freeze will happen. Now, you can follow it up from there, and in-game, in the heat of battle, that's what you're going to be doing. It's like free damage. keep on going and going. It's also great to use if you have numbers. Say there's a Thor or a Thing. They're at middle. You have 2 allies on them. Freeze them. Just stop them in place. Everyone group up on them. Take them out faster. But a lot of the time you use it defensively. Dive, Spider-Man, Iron Fist, you know them. After you freeze them, you can use it to get away or try to duel them. And you're going to know what to do when it happens. Because if you're full health and they took some damage, you can see their health bar after you froze them, go for them. But if they got you, you're low health, use the freeze time to skate away, get away safely. It also drops flyers out of the air. It's almost a 3-second freeze. So if they're hovering over a cliff, they're just going to drop all the way down. It's a great ability, and it makes Luna even more viable because she can defend herself. Couple great passives. First, the skating. You go from moving 6 meters a second to 9.6. Helps you get to fights, get away. Takes 0.5 seconds to activate, but once you do, you're gold. You also jump higher while skating. You can get into places on maps that you couldn't otherwise, and this is something you don't really think about, but it's a big deal. Honestly, the skating is one of the main things that makes Luna Snow, Luna Snow. Cryo Heart is her other passive. Automatically restores health when casting Ice Arts or Absolute Zero, so the freeze or the clap. What's so nice about this is it just happens. Use your freeze, use that clap, you get 30 health a second for 3 seconds. So with the healing boost, it's a total of 104 health over 3 seconds. And hopefully you're going to be getting some heals from your other supports, but this is just happening naturally. And that's great. But there are going to be moments that will come up. You're the only healer left. You need to keep allies alive and you're really low. If you have one of these abilities, use them. Just chunk the ice into the oblivion. Just get the ability out. That way you get the 104 health, because your main job, again, is to keep your team alive. If you can go from 100 in health to 204, do it. That's situation dependent. Otherwise, it's just on top of doing what you're already doing. It's also great versus dive. Like, her kit is very fluid. You get hit by a Spider-Man, you try to freeze them, hit them or not, you've regained some health back. Skate away, you're recovering health. It's very good. Her team-ups are also awesome, especially Frozen Chi, and you rarely see this one because you need an Iron Fist. It has a 10-meter radius. It's a knockback mechanic. It deals 25 damage to the enemies, but it knocks them back and slows them by 30% for 2 seconds. So, a dive happens, a venom gets on you, you pop this, knock them away from you, and they're slowed for a couple seconds. Goes for any dive character. It is great anti-dive. I wish this was a part of her main kit. You also have a burst healing of 75 to allies around you. And it's a shame you never really see it or get to use it because it is one of the best anti-dive tools that we have. The others for Jeff and Namor. Now, it takes Namor to another level. Everybody knows that. It's the Ice Squid. Jeff's very sneaky though. He gives him a slow ball, covers the field in slow, deals good damage. It's another underrated one. Now, you do see it more than Iron Fist, but not that much. It's a good one too though. We all know her ultimate, Fate of Both Worlds. It wins games. It lasts for 12 seconds, which can feel like an eternity when you're playing against it. Inside, allies get 250 healing a second, which is even more, because the anchor bonus, it's just massive healing. You get 250 shield, it keeps things moving along, and it's double good if you have a Loki with you. They can go before or after. That's 24 seconds of Luna ult. One of the strongest things in the game. But what isn't utilized enough, though, is her damage boost. You make your allies deal 40% more damage. Even in their ults, like Namor, Giganto, that outer ring deals 200 damage. If he pops it and he's inside your ult, it deals 40% more, it deals 280, and that downs Lunas and Squishies. But all ultimates, I mean, if you get people down, and it's a 6v3, 6v4, damage boost for a little bit, try to finish them off. You can always go right back to your healing, but utilize it when the time is right. 40% more damage is no joke, especially because you can heal right after. You can use this offensively, you're gonna use it defensively. Try to be the second Luna ult. If there's 2 Lunas, let them pop, get close, let 2-3 seconds or more, as much time as you can let pass by, then pop your ult. That way your team's gonna have that 3 or 4 seconds when it's all said and done. Luna Snow is one of the strongest healers in the game, but not only that, she's got the damage of a DPS, and I want you to have better games. And I want to reiterate again, your job is to keep your team alive. First and foremost, there's always opportunities to deal damage. You're going to be doing that. You're going to heal, see somebody try to get away, take a couple shots, get right back to healing. It's going to happen. You're going to get downs, but it's going to happen even more when you do your main job first correctly. So when you're setting up with Luna, you're going to try to have an out, meaning cover, taking angles away. Sometimes you can't do that with certain maps, but most of the time, try to be in a spot that if you take enough damage and you need to take a breather, you can. But because her primary heals and deals damage, you can use the base primary to your advantage. Start by placing the icicle on whoever you choose. If you're a set it and forget it Luna, that's fine. That's okay. I prefer to bounce it, and you've been seeing that in the gameplay. And I didn't mention it, but placing the icicle is a small amount of time because she does the animation, but the healing outweighs it, especially if they're really, really low. But what I like to do, and I suggest, is create angles. And the angles that you want to create are positioned from ally to enemy with cover that you can bounce into. Because what's so nice is that if you do set up an angle like that and just in a straight line, you're healing into their back. And if you do need to take shots, you're not moving your crosshair that much to get damage on them. And again, if you're healing through their back, if they're fully healed, you're just going to go through them and deal damage anyway. And the moment that they get hit, the healing is going to catch back on. You can keep them up. And as you're doing this, those precise shots do come up. Say you see a flyer, you can do that strafe and stop, or you can just stop for a second to get good shots into them. That goes for any precision damage shot that you need. But what you've done, setting up these lines in this angle, is for ice arts. The moment the team fight happens or it goes down, they have a heavy push, this is where you shine. The moment your team or their team meets up, you start lining them up. Or again, if your team's losing a fight, it's time to bring this out. It's your moneymaker. It's incredible. It's piercing, 97 to 121 healing, depending on if you move the icicle on them, and the 50 damage to enemies. And when they're all grouped up like that, you deal so much damage. And that's really helping the heroes that are actually in the thick of it. And if the healing's going good and I see a flyer, I'll use the rest of the claps to try to take out that flyer. Because again, there's cinder blocks. You're going to pressure them a ton. As Luna, you're an overseer. You're making sure that your other support is alive and everyone's able to do what they need to do. You're going to ult when you have to, counter ult when you have to. If your team isn't pushing, sometimes you're going to have to use your ult to make them push if you're playing solo. And when you do that, remember that you do have a damage boost. Say your Magneto has an ult, have him send it while in the damage boost. When it's over, switch back to healing. That goes for any ult. But mainly, think about angles when playing Luna. Your angles should have an out, or should have some cover, and you're going to heal allies in such a way that if they're full, you're going to deal damage instead. But you're setting up the ice arts as much as you can to win team fights. It is so good for team fights. When it comes to dive, use an ability to get health regen. 9 out of 10 times you're trying to freeze them. But once that freeze hits or doesn't hit, that's okay because you're getting health back. You're going to make that decision to try to duel or not. And by the way, versus dive, the clap is really good too. If you have that ability up, not the freeze, it's a huge hitbox. It's not a waste to use it there. But a lot of Marvel Rivals is knowing what things do fully and then utilizing all the tools that you have. So I hope this guide gave you some of those tools, and hopefully your healing is going to be even better with Luna Snow. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Luna Snow down below. What are your thoughts on her? And of course, share any tips that you have. Help each other out. Gather as much information as you can from here, Reddit, other YouTube videos. Be the best player that you can be. But let's talk about it. Thank you for watching. And until the next one, I am CoolGuy.
I should be singing vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum. Double KO. That's 3. I was worried. Wow, 4 in a row. This counts as a
Damn,
hot
Luna, carry me,
streak.
bro. Carry me, Luna.